Hey everybody, it's me, Vincent, coming to you from Islands of Adventure, all the way down over here. Look at me! Today, I wanted to do a fun little video, something I don't think I've actually ever talked about, which is my top 10 favorite rides here at Islands of Adventure. You see, I love this park, you love this park, I come here all the time, and I do have rides that I prefer over others. But there are also rides here that I think are just better than others. So in today's video, I want to take you guys through the park and share with you guys my top 10 favorite rides here at Islands of Adventure. So get ready to join me on another episode of Vincent Vision. Watcha! Ahoy mateys! Welcome to my number 10 ride here on my list. It has brought us over to Toon Lagoon, home of the Funny Papers, ha 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 ha, and Popeye and Bluto's Bilge Rat Barges is leading this list. I do not ride this ride very often here at the park. This truly is a once in a blue moon situation for me, but I think that every single time that I have done Popeye, I have been smiling the entire time. It truly is one of the most fun rides here. This is like the perfect example of a water ride bringing strangers together. Every time I ride, you're kind of looking to see who gets the most wet on this ride. It's not super thrilling, so a lot of kids and families can do it. There's not really any big drops or anything like that. So I think all those things together make this a really, really fun family water ride. Also, it has a really cute queue as well. One of my favorite lines here in the park, but it does get a couple dings, and there are some pretty big dings in my opinion. This ride gets you way too wet. Like, it gets you level 10 wet. This is the most wet ride here at Universal. It gets you a disgustingly amount of wet in a way that if I come here and I ride this ride, I'm pretty much like done for the day. And because this ride gets you so wet, the exit area for the Popeye ride is one of like the nastiest areas in a theme park I've ever been around. It smells like hot, sweaty, steamy socks, but the ride itself is tons of fun, and if you are prepared to get head to toe soaked, Popeye is a great time, really memorable experience. But it is number 10 on my list of rides here at the park. There are some much better, drier experiences you can have here at Universal. I am in the caves of the number 9 ride here at Universal, and it is Skull Island Reign of Kong. This one, I've kind of just given it to it based off a couple things. I think personally, it's not one of my favorite rides here at the park. I think with as impressive of an entrance and queue that this ride has, I think the ride system doesn't really match. This was kind of made during Universal's great screen renaissance, which a lot of people would say is not one of the better times here at Universal. But I do have to give this ride a lot of credit in certain ways. Like I said, the line is really impressive. This is a ride with surprisingly a really low height requirement for how scary it is. It's 36 inches, which means a lot of kids and families can do this one. The King Kong animatronic at the end of the ride truly is like next level. I think a lot of people go on the ride just to see the King Kong animatronic. It isn't super thrilling, and I think a lot of people would also say that it's lost its edge recently because they got rid of the 3D for this ride sometime at the beginning of this year. I remember this ride not being very well liked when it first opened up in 2016, but I think once Fast and Furious Supercharged opened at Universal Studios, people's opinion on this got a lot better, and I would agree, I think it has. I think Skull Island is a cool ride in certain ways, but compared to all of the other amazing attractions on this list, it ends up at number 9. My number 8 ride here at Islands of Adventure is this guy right behind me. This is the Jurassic Park ride, or if we use its full legal name, the Jurassic Park River Adventure. I was kind of hoping when I'd say that I'd do a big drop like this. Boom! The Jurassic Park ride. Listen, I'm actually kind of a little sad to put this one here at number 8. This actually is one of my favorite rides here at the park. I love Jurassic Park. I love how many animatronics are on this ride. And of course, I love that big 85-foot drop you just saw right behind me. But this ride does have a little bit of a problem, and that is I think it's starting to show its age very well. A lot of these animatronics are not looking good, okay? And you guys, if you've ever seen me talk about Universal Studios Hollywood, you know how much I love the Jurassic World ride in California. And I wish that this ride here in Orlando was given the same redo or TLC that the ride in California got, because it's got some really awesome animatronics. And don't get me wrong, this ride still has a lot of really great things going on. I love this giant drop behind me, and it's got one of the most iconic endings to any ride here at Universal. You get the big T-Rex coming at you, and as soon as it's about to eat you, you go down the big drop to the big old splash. What I also like about this ride too is you don't get as wet as some of the other water rides at Universal, but it is kind of a slower ride, especially now with kind of these animatronics that are in not such great shape. The first half of the ride, it feels like really you're just waiting for the end. I love this ride. This is something I'd recommend doing, especially if you're trying to get a water ride in at Universal, but it has earned the number 8 spot. I can probably stand like a little closer and it should be fine. Okay, just the ankles. Not too bad, not too bad. All right, guys, we are back here at Seuss Landing, and I actually came back here because this is where my number 7 ride is, but I'm actually helping a friend out. You see, there's this guy, his name is Horton, he's an elephant. He's normally taking care of this egg, but I'm just being a good guy. I'm being a good friend and keeping this egg warm for him while I tell you guys that the Cat in the Hat ride is my number 7 favorite ride here at Islands of Adventure. Now, this ride is Islands of Adventure's classic dark ride, right? This is really the only kind of ride where you go on a slow-moving track and you get to see animatronics, some light movement. This is a really, really great family ride. I am all in favor for more rides like this at Universal in general. And this is also an opening day attraction. This has been here since the beginning, 1999. It's got that iconic Dr. Seuss style all over the ride. I love the Cat in the Hat. I love those creepy little things going through the ride. And this ride here, in a couple different ways, is like Islands of Adventure's Men in Black ride. One, it's actually the same ride vehicle, is made by the same people. You might notice that, where the ride vehicle twists and turns, though Men in Black spins a lot more. And 2, you know that if you've done the Cat in the Hat ride in the summer, it is freezing in here. You get some nice freezing cold air conditioning. I love this ride. This is something that I do almost all the time. I come here to Islands of Adventure. So that is how the Cat in the Hat has earned my number 7 spot. Hey, what's that behind me? It's my number 6 favorite ride here at Islands of Adventure. And this one might be a controversial opinion, but it's Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls. Boom! This is here in Toon Lagoon, home of the Funny Papers. Ha 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 ha. And this is, in my opinion, a really fun water ride. One of the most fun water rides here at really, I think, any Florida park. This is your classic log flume. It's bright, it's colorful, it's got 3 drops. It gets you very, very wet. That's the only reason I think it's kind of a little lower on my list. If I didn't get as wet on this ride, this would probably be higher up. I don't know what it is about the drops on this ride here, but I just think they're so thrilling and exciting and fun for a water ride. It feels like almost like a roller coaster. And one of my favorite ride elements anywhere is in the middle of this ride, there's a little drop. It goes down a hill and then up a hill and then to the big splash. And if I could just ride a ride that just had one big hill and went up and down and up and down, up and down, I think it'd be one of my favorite rides ever. I love Dudley Do-Right. It's got some really fun drops. It's a really great water ride. This one does get you very, very wet though, okay? So you have to be prepared to ride this ride. So I don't ride it very often when I come here to Islands of Adventure because of that. But if I came here with sandals and a shirt that I didn't want to get wet, I would love this ride. I do it all the time. This is one of the most popular rides here during the summer, and it's just great. Number 6. We are now entering the top 5 here at Islands of Adventure, and behind me is the Incredible Hulk coaster. This here is number 5, and this might be a controversial statement, but I think Hulk has kind of been grandfathered in to the number 5. You see, when this park first opened up, and when the Hulk was the big roller coaster here, there it goes. I think this was the top dog for a long time. But now that we have Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure, and now that we have the Velocicoaster, I think the Hulk has been outclassed. And, if Dueling Dragons was still here, I don't know if Hulk would have been on the top 5. That might be a controversial opinion, might not be. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. But I do have to give respect to the Hulk. It is, like I said, an opening day attraction. It is a really great roller coaster. It has one of the coolest starts to any roller coaster I've ever been on. That launch straight into the flip. It's like iconic. This is a must-do for a lot of people when they come here to the park. But I do like Hagrid's and Velocicoaster a lot more. And even though the roller coaster did get like a full track refurbishment in 2015, 2016, I do still think it's a little shaky for what type of ride it is. I think the over-the-shoulder restraints do that. I prefer a lap bar on my roller coasters nowadays, but I still got to give love and respect to the Incredible Hulk. This year, there's probably a lot of first people's upside down roller coaster. I know for me, this was one of my first big roller coasters that I did, and it'll always have a lot of respect in my heart. But I'm Team Velocicoaster all the way, man. Well, folks, we finally made it over to Hogsmeade Village here, and I'm talking about my number 4 ride here at Islands of Adventure. It is Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. This is, for all intents and purposes, the Harry Potter ride, right? This is the first one. This is the one that kind of helped kickstart the Harry Potter craze here at Universal, and it's also a really, really innovative ride. The Kuka Arm system, where you're flying through Hogwarts Castle, going up and down. This ride is doing what Universal does best, which is jumping in from screen to physical set. You've got big animatronics like the dragons and Dementors. The Whomping Willow is gigantic. You've got some really impressive animatronics that you get close to. You've got these really immersive wraparound screens where you're flying through the Quidditch field, going through the caves. This ride also has what's probably the best line for any ride in the United States, right? Walking through Hogwarts Castle, literally like the #1 fantasy for Harry Potter fans. And even though this ride, for a lot of people, is a puke machine, it is still an incredibly innovative ride. It is one of Islands of Adventure's bests and an absolute must-do for people when they come here to Islands of Adventure. Now we are back in Marvel Superhero Island for my number 3 best ride here at Islands of Adventure, the undisputed king of Islands of Adventure. It is the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, the Spider-Man ride. This ride is very important to the theme park world. There weren't any other rides like this before it opened up, and this has paved the way for a lot of really great experiences that all the theme parks around the world have now. When you think of the Spider-Man ride, you got to remember that this ride opened in 1999, okay? This is one of this park's opening day attractions. And if you look at the rest of the park in 1999 compared to Spider-Man, this is really what made IOA the park that it is, because like the Hulk is really exciting, but it's a roller coaster. We've been there, done that. Even Dueling Dragons, for as much people love that ride, was just another roller coaster. The Jurassic Park ride was just a boat ride. But Spider-Man, that was like mind-blowing in 1999 and still holds up now 25 years later. This is one of the first rides I rode when I came to Islands Adventure as a kid, and it like blew my mind. I think this guy is responsible for the love of theme parks that I have now. This is an essential must-do. Every time you come here to Islands Adventure, you gotta do the Spider-Man ride. All right. I think young people now, young people, oh my gosh, I'm so old. I think a lot of kids nowadays don't realize how cool the Spider-Man ride is, or maybe they do. I don't know. There's so many other different types of rides now with technology, maybe even better than Spider-Man. But you have to remember that Spider-Man is the ride that made it happen. So next time you're at Islands Adventure, pay respects to the 3rd best ride here at Islands of Adventure. It is the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. Number 2, as much as it pains me to say it, is this guy right over here, the Jurassic World Velocicoaster, my actual favorite ride at Islands of Adventure. You see, number 1 is what I think is the best ride at Islands of Adventure, and before you started watching this video, you probably already knew what that was going to be. But we got to talk about the Velocicoaster. It is number 2 because it is one of the best roller coasters in the world. I truly do believe it. I remember the first time I rode this thing, it like rocked my socks. It was intense. It still is, but also exciting and exhilarating and fun and just an amazing roller coaster experience, an amazing big roller coaster experience. I feel like Velocicoaster is more intense than the Hulk. It's more exciting than the Hulk, and maybe even scarier. I think people would rather ride this ride because it's so much smoother too. That's a really, really big deal as well, right? If a roller coaster is smooth, Velocicoaster has got the speed, it's got the thrills, it's got the big old drop right over here, and it is a smooth roller coaster ride. Also, it's got a really amazing queue with like the Raptor animatronics, even the ride experiences are going through like the rocks and out by the water. You've got really great views of the park. It's almost like two different coaster experiences as well, where the first half of the ride is very tight and narrow, and you're going along the rocks, along the walls, and then when you launch out, that 70-mile-per-hour launch, which is like amazing, by the way, you're coasting by the water, you feel like the king or queen of the world. Velocicoaster is the best roller coaster I have ever been on. I have officially decided as I talk about it, if you can only ride one big coaster here at Universal, make sure it's this one here. Oh, I'm pointing towards the drop, but you can't really see it because the camera, oh, there they go. Holy moly. You gotta do the Velocicoaster. And of course, to no one's surprise, Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure is the #1 ride at Islands of Adventure. My personal favorite, it's the Velocicoaster. The #1, the actual best ride, it's Hagrid's, man. If you came here to Islands of Adventure and you could only ride one ride, it would be this one here. This ride has it all. It has the right amount of thrill. It is exciting, it is fun, it is a roller coaster, so it's got drops, it's got speed, but it doesn't go upside down. Not super, super intense. It's got the Harry Potter brand attached to it. You've got the animatronics. You're sitting on a motorcycle. You're riding through the Forbidden Forest. I mean, come on. When it opened in 2019 on the summer day, it opened to a 600-minute wait. People came here on the first day and said to themselves, I am okay with waiting 10 hours for this Harry Potter ride because it is that good. This is a really great ride. Even if you don't like roller coasters, it's gotta be Hagrid's. This baby cost $300 million to build, so you better ride it. It has now been 5 years since this roller coaster opened up, and it still does not have Express. And eventually it will, I'm sure. And when the time comes, this will be the #1 reason to buy an Express pass here at Universal, because you are gonna need to ride Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. I would be so bold as to say this is probably the best ride that Universal has ever made. I am surprised it has not been copy and pasted to all the other Universals, but I'm also very glad that it is exclusive to Islands of Adventure, my favorite park. Well, there you have it, my friends. That's all I got for you. Those are my top 10 rides here at the park. What do you think of my list? How does it compare to yours? I would love to know that. I think a lot of people's #1 is probably going to be the same, but like, what about your #2, your 3, your 4, your #5? Please let me know down below in the comments what your favorite rides are here at Islands of Adventure. And if you're looking for more Universal videos like this one, please consider liking, subscribing to my channel. You're gonna get those if you do. And if you're looking to support me a little extra further, consider joining my Patreon like all these wonderful people all around me. These guys help me make even better videos and coming up with some really, really good stuff in the future, and their contributions help a lot. But I'm gonna get on out of here. It's getting ready to rain here in Florida, so I'm gonna run back to my car. Thank you guys for watching another Vincent Vision, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.